Hello, greetings, and welcome to another interview with Cuddlist. We are celebrating Black History Month this month, and we are so privileged and honored to have Janetta Everett. She is the Vice President of Professional Relations of Delta Dental of Kansas, and she is also the Board Chair of the Wichita Regional Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Janetta.
Thank you, Shawan.
We're so glad to have you here with us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. I'm honored.
Wonderful. Well, we're here in her beautiful building at Delta Dental today, and I was so impressed when I walked through to seeing all the wonderful things there were to see. And I'm just so glad that we're here to celebrate Black History Month and that Cuddlist has taken the time to highlight it this month. So, Janetta, we'll start off with that question.
Okay.
Tell us, what does Black History Month mean to you?
So, Black History Month means so much, obviously, but I have to think about when I think about Black History Month, I have to think about opportunity. Opportunity from those who have all gone before me and paved the way for me. And I think back as far as Brown versus Board of Education, if that little girl hadn't stood up for what they did to be able to go into school. If I think about Rosa Parks, who sit on that bus like 9 days just before I was actually born, had she not done that, I would not be able to be sitting here in this beautiful building in the positions I'm in and being able to help everybody else. So the opportunities were from Martin Luther King to the boycotts, everything happened in history provided opportunities for me, for you, for us to be here. That's Black history for me.
Wonderful. I love that. With all the success that you have had in your career, tell me what's helped to mold you into the powerful Black woman that you are today.
I don't know about powerful, but I think what's helped mold me was knowing that you had to go after what you wanted. If there's opportunity, you had to seek it out. So I think what helped to mold me to be the person I am was to be intentional about looking for what it is that I was looking for. Basically, if I saw something that I thought needed to be changed or something I wasn't completely pleased about or something that maybe just needed to have some inclusivity to it, I felt that I had to step up. And so to the positions I am and what's taken me through my life story to get here, it helped mold me, but not only that, it had to be family and faith.
All right.
So without either one of those, I could not have made it.
So family and faith.
Family and faith, absolutely.
Wonderful. So learning how to prioritize your life in that manner.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Actually, I have to say faith comes first. And because without my faith, I would not have been able to help lead my family.
I know that's right. That's awesome. So tell me, I know earlier we were talking about how long you've been here. Can you let the audience know how long you've been with Delta Dental?
Well, I am a dental hygienist by profession from Wichita State University. Woo, go Sharks.
Go Sharks!
And, but I came to Delta Dental of Kansas after 10 years of practice in dental hygiene, and I have been here, this year will be 33 years.
Wow.
So I am able to use my dental background to work in a dental insurance company and being the first African American to graduate from Wichita State University dental hygiene program.
Wow.
I'm able to help open some other doors for other people, which I am just thrilled about.
That is wonderful. So Wichita State University alumni,
Yes.
the first African American to graduate from that program.
Yes, from the
That
hygiene
is
school.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, that's wonderful. So that's going to lead us right into what things have been imperative in your life in making it healthy, happy, and positive, both with your business life and your professional life.
Healthy, happy, and positive.
Yes.
Well, I'd have to say, again, I go back to faith. Now, you think about, I may not seem to be a religious person, but I have relationships with God. Okay. So, as long as I have that relationship with God, I'm going to be happy. and that's going to impact my overall health, which is actually it keeps me positive. So let's just talk about health. There's so many things that are determinants of health. For example, even learning, literacy. Those things help a person. The more literate you are, the more you're able to understand, the more you're able to impact, the more you're able to have help people impact you as well.
Okay.
So that kind of impacts your overall health. But there's so many different ways to define health. Positivity, I'm just of a believer that you get nothing from being a negative person. If you are positive, it just flows like water, like it'll flow right on, just like negativity would. So
Yes.
why would I want that to flow to you? So I want all the positive vibes to continue to flow. There we go. So yeah, that's kind of me. What's helped me be positive, if anything, too, is a great relationship with my husband, who's helped me throughout my entire 38 years of life.
Wow. So 38 years of marriage?
38 years
To the
of
same
marriage,
man?
to the same guy, and 37 of those were very happy.
That's pretty good odds right there. 37
Yeah,
out of 38. That's pretty
absolutely.
dynamic, actually.
I can't even remember any one year, so it had to be 38.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So seems to be like your faith and your family
Absolutely.
has made your life in terms of your professional life happy too.
Yes. My professional life, I have to give credit to many of my mentors that I've used as well. You can use female mentors, whether they are people of color or not, whether they're men. It doesn't matter as long as it's intentional about what you want. I learned that it takes all of us to help some of us. And that's one of the things that when I walk into a door, I want to make sure that I pull that door open and pull somebody in with me, because that's what somebody was able to do for me as well. So that's my professional life. I see no strangers. I am a person that when I walk into a room, when I walk out, I'm going to know more than one person, and they're going to know me. So I'm just one of those happy-go-lucky type people
Wonderful.
that wants to make sure we see progress.
And that's a great way to be. That's a great way to be. You have a large family, don't you, Janetta?
I do have a large family.
How many children or grown children do you have?
So I have 5 sons. I'm going to skip on their ages. 5 sons. I have 4 daughter-in-laws. I have almost 10 grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
So
You said almost 10?
almost 10. We got one coming in July, another one. So
wonderful.
yeah, and we have a very diverse family. So I love and my sons, their biggest thing that they love to do is get together, all 5 of them, and with their spouses and their partners and their children. It's just a one big happy family, at least once a year at Christmas time, and then other times as much as we possibly can.
Wonderful. And when you say diverse, since we're celebrating Black History Month this
Absolutely.
month, can you share with the audience, when you say diverse, how diverse they are?
Yeah, so when I say diverse, they're diverse obviously in ethnicity. I have a couple of daughter-in-laws who are Caucasian. I have a son who has a partner.
Okay.
And so I have grandchildren, obviously, who are now mixed.
Yes.
But we have a ton of extended family. Like my sister's married to a Hispanic.
Okay.
So I have Hispanic nephews and nieces. We are just a very diverse family because we just don't see color that way.
That's wonderful.
I think that all comes from, I told you I was religious. My grandfather, who was a Baptist minister, came through here. Religion was just ingrained in us, so we had to try and ingrain that in our children as well. That is just the person that you need to see and not their colors.
So seeing the person for who they are, not the color that they have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great. I think a lot of times it's all about your upbringing, about your parents, about your family, because that's going to roll off into creating the person that you are.
Absolutely. And if you intentionally help mold your children, to be able to see the best in everybody, then they're going to be able to take that to their own children. They'll be able to carry it down and pass it down. I see my sons now, how they spend so much time with their children. And from a professional perspective, professional from a religious perspective, and from a personal perspective, they all have learned how to be inclusive, intentionally inclusive. And one thing I just recently learned from a lady that came in, Miss Karen Carter, from she's a diversity and inclusion director at Dow. Actually, she's the chief director at Dow. Told us that one thing you have to do is be inclusive about everything. Diversity is required.
Okay.
Inclusion is a choice. So you can't help it. Right now, the two of us there's so much diversity. We get the age, we have the same gender, but there's generations, there's different religions, there's size, there's so many different diverse elements.
Right.
But inclusion is a choice. You
It
have to
is.
invite somebody to the party, and then you got to dance with them at the party.
So that's total inclusion.
That's absolutely
Not just inviting them, but
That's right.
participating in it.
and being intentionally inclusive
Okay.
about something, and that's something I think we as a people need to do a lot more of. Be more intentional about what we are doing.
Okay. I like that. Okay. So was it difficult nurturing such a large family? You know, with me being a cuddlist, that's what we do. We nurture, and you know, we love on people. That's part of what our job is. Was it hard having 5 young men, bringing them up, giving them the amount of love that they needed, giving them the nurturing that they needed, and being a businesswoman too, having all those hats, and being a wife as well?
So I don't want to make it sound like it was really, really easy, because you needed support. And it wasn't hard. I did have the support of my mom when she was here, but I have to say the support I had was more my husband. My kids learned how to eat a lot of Brussels sprouts and spaghetti, because he couldn't cook. But what they learned from that is every one of them now know how to cook. But you had to have support. I had awesome babysitters that would come and help me with my children.
I was one of them.
Awesome babysitters. And they loved those babysitters who I knew their background was very spiritual as it was. But it wasn't really hard. After, I think, once you let your children know what is expected,
Yes.
and you're able to hug them every single night. 5 boys, you get a kiss every night.
Wow.
Even Dad got kissed until they were about 14.
Aww.
And tonight and today and every time I see my grandchildren, they have that same nurturing ability for that. So it's so important to love on each other and to love on yourself, because that's really important too. Without the love of yourself, it's hard to show love to others.
And that makes a lot of sense. How can you love other people if you don't know how to love yourself first?
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense. So a lot of hugs was in her home.
Absolutely.
A lot of
Hugging,
nurturing, kissing from both
Yes.
her and her husband.
Yep. They would never, my children will tell you, they've never, ever seen us even have an argument. But,
Wow.
but we didn't have a problem showing affection in front of them.
Aww.
He'd come in and, how you doing, babe? And so I think that's important that your children see that
Yes.
among a couple. It just helps them later on.
Well, yeah, I believe that there are so many times where people, you know, they may have the parents in the home and they don't see the love between the parents.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to know how to be in a relationship with another person if they haven't seen it firsthand.
That's right.
So 38 years of love in a family with 5 young men, they have a good background and backbone in their
They
marriages.
have a great model from their dad, so
Aw.
you have to demonstrate that love and the cuddling. Now, he's not very good on PDA. He will not hold my hand out in public. But at home, he's okay.
He's okay at home?
He's cool at home, yes.
Okay. Let's see. Your grown children, they're all different and they're all multi-talented.
Yes.
They're all successful in their careers as well.
Yes.
what type of values did you instill in them as they were growing up? I know faith definitely has been a strong
Absolutely.
forefront, but besides faith, what kind of values did you and your husband instill in the boys?
You know, I think what we tried to instill in them was trust, of course, love, being very intimate. There's values that they have, not just you can't just have the trust and the love and the intimacy, but you also have to be able to think and believe. So, if anything, I've recently read a book, and the thing I learned is default to truth. If you don't know for sure what some of the facts are, or you're just guessing, you always have to try to default to truth. And so we kind of tried to instill values with them, but above all, to love each other. And that's the one thing that we are very proud of, that they do love going on cruises together. They will stay up all night long debating and talking with each other. These are just the boys, and they will kick the girls out and let them go do their thing. But it is one of my favorite things to see. But the values I think they have, and it's helping them in their professional lives, is being very respectful of the people that they talk to and that they are around, and if they're all family members, they will still say yes, ma'am,
Oh, wow.
to a person who is of age. So, yep.
Well, tell me, what advice would you give the audience today in terms of the people that are surrounding them, a person's inner circle, in terms of keeping positive people around you? What advice would you give to the people out there making their lives more, more unity, more loving, more positive?
So that's a great question. And recently, again, I was at a seminar, and it just brought it home to me, is that you have to look at the people who are around you. So I say, take a look and say, who are you around every day? Are you around the same people who think like you, they act like you, they talk like you? Because if you are, and that's all you're around, you're never going to learn a lot. You have to surround yourself with a diverse group of people, not so much in ethnicity, socioeconomic, things like that, but in diversity in thought. You and I talked all the time, and we were always in agreement on everything, we're just like not going to be a very well-rounded person.
Right.
But if you get someone who's willing to debate with you, somebody who's willing to agree with you, disagree with you, tell you why they are agreeing or not agreeing with you, that just kind of helps you become more of a well-rounded, more understanding person. And that's kind of what diversity is about. And so I think about Black history in itself. Being Black History Month, every year I try to study a lot about what Dr. King has said. And one thing we have a tendency to do is learn some of his quotes, and we all have some of our favorite ones.
Right.
But what happens from Martin Luther King Day to the next year? Within that 365 days, what are you doing also to celebrate Black history and some of the things that Dr. King taught us? So all of that has to do with surrounding yourself, making yourself more well-rounded, and just diversify your crowd. Don't eat. If you're at work, change who you eat with someday. If you're at church, sit with somebody different sometime. It's okay to go with your same friends all the time, but every now and then, mix it up. You'd be surprised how much you will learn by just talking to different people. I learn something from you every time I talk to you.
Uh-oh.
And you know I love you to death. But every time I see you guys, I look at I call you my daughters.
Yes.
I do learn a lot from you all, though.
And just so you all know, I did not share that at the beginning. Janetta Everett, I also call her Mama E. She's like a second mother to me. She was a youth leader. Her and her husband, Mr. Everett, were both youth leaders when we were in the youth group at our church. So we
Like
go
14
back. Yeah.
years old.
So we go back pretty far, and as she said too, I was one of the babysitters for the boys, and I used to make some of the best cheese scrambled eggs at her house.
Yes, yes. In fact, one of my talented sons who is on Broadway was sort of
Wait a
named.
minute. Did y'all hear that? She said Broadway.
He's on Broadway. He's been in 3 Broadway shows, but he was kind of named after Sean. His name is Turian Jashawn. So,
And he was my special child. I love them all, but he was my special one.
yeah, you're gonna be in trouble for that.
Yeah, I know. Maybe they're not gonna see this.
There you go.
But you guys, it's just amazing. All these years later, when you find someone special in your life, you want to keep those people close to you, and that nurturing, that love. I really believe that's what made me the person that I am today. Having people like Mama E, Janetta Everett around me. She actually helped kind of raise me and my sister and all the other people in the youth group, her and her husband. Getting nurturing, not just from your parents, but again, the people that your inner circle, the people that are around you, being raised in a church, and having role models like this in my life actually really helped make me who I am and made me want to do what I'm doing now, which is loving and nurturing people that may not be able to get the nurturing that they need.
And I have to say, Sean's always been a very loving person all of her life. One thing that she does do, and I think people should always do this, is it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail fast. As long as you learn from those mistakes and benefit from those. Sean's a very loving person, sometimes so overly loving that you got to watch it and say, okay, let me step back and make sure this is love. And she has learned, I think, she's walking a path that I couldn't be more proud of. If anybody's gonna teach love and be a cuddlist, this is gonna be the person that I would want to be around me.
Oh,
I do appreciate that. So
let me ask you that question, a cuddle question. When I told you the career field that I was doing, that I was about to start a new business,
yes.
What did you originally think about it? And as you got to learn more about it, what did you think about it? Your honest opinion.
Yeah, so first I was like, what? Is that like bears or what? So I had no idea what a cuddlist was. And in these days and time, you just think about touch, and you think about sometimes you can't touch.
Yes.
And so what my true opinion was, well, if anybody can do it, it's Shawan who can do it. But I didn't have an idea. But then I realized the need for so many people to have a person like the whole field of cuddlists. It's new to us. It has to be explained.
Right.
But once you get it, you're like, oh my goodness, there's such a need for people like that, like our cuddlists.
Right.
I do a child abuse prevention program. I have done that before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when I think about the kids, we used to take tons of bears, little panda bears, to the police station, and we would give them to the police people, and they would give these bears to these little kids because they just didn't have anybody. So they would take these bears and they would just hug them and keep them. And so there are adults like us who, not necessarily in those kind of situations,
Right.
we just need to be loved and know that there's somebody that cares and somebody that knows how to help us love ourselves as well. So that's what I actually thought when I learned more about it. I'm like, it's about time. That's great.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that. Was there anything else that you'd like to share with everyone out there in Cuddlist and the viewers that are going to see this video?
Let's see. The only thing I would share is that as I try and mentor people and I try and talk with people, I'm always there to be able to share a little wisdom as much as I possibly can, but I'm always willing to learn. And every place I go to and every meeting I have, whether it's one person, two people, or more, I try to learn something and take a pearl away from me. I just invite all of you to try to always learn something. Take a pearl with you after you've had a conversation. After Shawan and I are done, I guarantee you I'll have a pearl that I'll be able to take with me and use for tomorrow or the rest of my life.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I know that this video, when people see it, they're gonna get a lot of wonderful things from it. I really, truly appreciate your time
Thanks for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm honored.
and your love
Absolutely.
and your nurturing and your care. So
Absolutely.
it's Black History Month. Cuddle us as we continue to celebrate this wonderful month. We just want everybody to know how important the month is. And like Janetta said, it's not just a month. We should celebrate Black History Month every day.
Yes.
There was a lot of different things that led us to be to where we are today.
Absolutely.
And for us to be able to move forward and have the steps and be able to have the type of careers that we have nowadays and to be business owners even.
Yes, yes.
A lot of people were not able to do this before. It was the people that came before us that got us
right.
there. So
Hashtag pave the way.
pave the way. Hashtag pave the way.
There you
See,
go.
I just took a pearl.
There you go.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you, Cuddlist. We are signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.